Good evening, Mr. Lee. My name is Susan Ang. I'm the country tax lead of Shell Singapore. Coincidentally, my question has the theme of what Winston Churchill said about looking back to look forward. So my question is, what is that one learning in the last 50 years that Singapore should focus on to improve in the next? Thank you.
It's one of those telling phrases which I don't think is exactly correct. You can look back over the last 50 years, and it's very unlikely that the events of the last 50 years will repeat themselves over the next 50. The challenges we will face in the next 50 will be very different from those we faced in the last 50. For example, I've mentioned this problem of population diminishing. Our birth rates in the 1950s was 4.2. So we urged the people to stop at 2, but they didn't need urging. All we needed to do was to educate the women. Women held jobs. Women did not want too many pregnancies because they lose incomes during pregnancies and lose promotions when they get back. So that solved the problem. So it's not a straight line extrapolation of what has happened in the past. Each change brings about a different reaction from a different generation. So I cannot tell you, looking backwards 50 years, what I can see in the next 50 years. It is going to be a very different 50 years.
Let me continue the conversation about and take up the issue of urbanization as it relates to future of energy. You've been known to be a supporter of conserving the environment even as you make economic progress. And our Shell scenario planners have found that compact cities, high-density cities, tend to be more energy-efficient ones. Do you think there are learnings to be drawn from Singapore's experience in development and urbanization which other countries might draw from? And what are the impediments to them doing so?
I never hold Singapore up as an example for other countries. It's the surest way to make yourself unpopular. We have found some solutions to our problems. The principles may be applicable to other countries. It's for them to come pick and choose which of the principles are useful to them. As I've said, the first thing we did was to educate the women, and that solved the fertility rate. And it creates a shrinking population, and now the problem of migrating people from Malaya, China, India, to keep up the vitality of the population. So it was something completely unforeseen and unforeseeable 30, 40 years ago. It was just completely unpredictable. Nobody could have predicted this. But our women, once educated, did not want to have many children. And they're marrying later, and 30% remain singles throughout their lives. So, I do not believe looking backward 50 years will tell you the way 50 years are going forwards.
If I could...
It's a catchphrase which does not, to me, sound true.
If I could press that question a little, Mr. Lee, what are some of the big themes that you think about when you're looking ahead to the next 50 years?
First, I'm not responsible for the world. So they are beyond our control. Global warming, massive population rise in Africa, maybe India, maybe China, without a one-child policy. That's beyond our control, and we just watch events as they pan out. But I can see the impact of all these developments as having a deleterious effect on our living environment. You cannot put 9 billion or 10 billion on a planet like this without causing discomfort and distress. But as I have referred to just now, countries can protect themselves, or some countries can, by keeping out migrants from overpopulated countries. And we are one of them, and we are very strict on that, because this island cannot hold. We are now 5.28 million. And I never expected to have 5.828 million. We have 3 million citizens, 3.25, 500,000 PRs who are not likely to leave, and 1.3 million foreign workers whom we need for the construction work. So we live within those limits.